Mr. Scrooge to See You is a 2013 film written and directed by Stephen F. Zambo. This stars David Ruprecht as Scrooge, and it sounded like a really fascinating concept, and I'm pleased to say I rather enjoyed it. It's not amazing, but in general, it's pretty decent. This actually takes place just after A Christmas Carol. It takes place a year after A Christmas Carol to begin with. And Scrooge makes Bob Cratchit, a partner of the firm. And then Scrooge finds himself transported into the future to our present day. And that's where the majority of the film takes place. And I will admit that the whole getting Scrooge to the present day part was kind of weak. I don't think it was very well thought out. But once he was in the present day, I actually really enjoyed it. And I thought he interacted with his surroundings rather well, and it just so happens that one of Bob Cratchit's descendants, a great grandson, is, well, he's maybe not the kindest person. He maybe has developed some of Scrooge's more money-hungry tendencies, and he's going after the dinner bells because they owe him money for the mortgage. I have to say, I like the name The Dinner Bells. Bells as in Belle, and I thought that was pretty cool as a name. I'm easily pleased. And I will be honest, if they owe him money for the mortgage, then he is in every right to go after that money, and it's not a nice position for them to be in. But he has a very nasty attitude about it, which is, of course, the biggest problem, and Scrooge is finding out about this, and I won't say too much about what happens, but basically certain characters haven't learned from the history of A Christmas Carol, which of course was a real happening within this particular world. And I thought it was a pretty decent narrative. Once Scrooge made it to the present day, I thought everything was really good fun, really enjoyed watching him interacting with things and commenting and referring to Mr. eBay at one point. Some fun aspects of the script. I also quite like this version of Scrooge. It's obviously a very different version of Scrooge because from the very beginning of the film, he is a kind person because, of course, he had previously learned the error of his ways with the story of A Christmas Carol. So it's definitely a different version of the character. And I kind of like the idea of a sequel to A Christmas Carol. To my recollection, I haven't seen any others. And I'm kind of surprised by that. It seems like a pretty obvious film to go to if you want to try and write a sequel to a classic. And maybe there are others. If there are, I'd love to know about them. I'd be happy to check them out. But certainly this is, I think, the first one that I've seen. And it's a fun concept. It's not perfect. There are times when it's maybe not the most exciting narrative. Things are a little slow. But because Scrooge in this is a really great character, I didn't mind that too much. And in general, the acting is pretty decent, the filming is good, and the narrative itself is pretty fascinating. So I'm a big fan of A Christmas Carol. And as soon as I saw this, or the idea of this, I thought that sounded like it could be really good. And I'm pleased to say it delivered. It may not be perfect, but in general, it's a fun concept, reasonably well executed, with some decent performances and an interesting narrative. If you're a fan of A Christmas Carol, definitely check it out. If you like Scrooge as a character, I think you'll enjoy this continuation of his journey. And as I said, if you're aware of any others that are sequels to A Christmas Carol, please do let me know. I'd be very, very happy to watch them. And for now, I'm pleased to say Mr. Scrooge to See You is a pretty good film.